What's going on, Hangout gang? Hope everybody had a good weekend and is ready to go back to work Monday. Had a good Thanksgiving, spent a lot of time with family and friends, and got all the good things in order. All right. As you can see, Bitcoin's making a little move. I made a little move. I think it was Thursday or Friday. Went up towards 37,000. We're going to take a look at that here in a second. We're going to get into these crypto bubbles real quick and look at the Bitcoin chart. Then I got a little bit of news for you guys with a couple of video clips. And as always, we read the news on the live broadcast. We read the news together. So I don't pre-read the news. We'll read it together, and then we'll go from there. I'll play a few video clips that I have for you guys that coincides with that with the news and the video clips, and then we'll go from there. All right. So let's go ahead and get into look at these crypto bubbles real quick. As you can see, the market is pretty much red. This is the daily that we're looking at right now. As you can see, the market's pretty much red. Only Luna C, AXI, AXS, RLB, has considerable amount of green, 17.6%. Luna C, 27.2%. And then you have a little smaller percentage with Maker, RLB, Link, Flow, Atom, Gala, Xan, Rose, WeMix, etc. All right, so that's on the daily. You look at the hourly bubbles, and it's even more red. So the market's moving downwards a little bit. As you can see, here we have the Bitcoin chart. This is the 4-hour chart. As you can see, Bitcoin came up here towards 37,000. It went above it briefly to 38,000. It came back down, and 37,000 is acting as resistance. The 37,802 is acting $802 is acting as resistance for it right now. As you can see, that downward trend line, it broke through that downward trend line. You have that run up right there, right? And it's falling back down. As you can see, it came back down to the 50. And it's touching the 50, and see what it's doing on that 50. It is don't have too big of a green candle that's coming in to show. As you can see, it's not a lot of greens, a lot of selling pressure, looks like. Let's look at the hour chart to get a better look. As you can see, boom, fell below 37,800, and that's currently where it's sitting at $37,472. Look at the daily. This is what the daily chart looks like. It's like a pennant, bull pennant, whatnot. You can see it come up here, touch that resistance, the ceiling, and fall back down. 21 right here. It's pulled away significantly from the 50 and the 80 and the 100, which this is good. You see price action going. This is daily now, but it's overbought, so it needs to come back down. RSI needs to come down to the 35 level for it to make a next leg up. Look at that weekly, and as you can see, all this green. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles. All right, 7 green candles. All right, and he comes up here, hits that resistance, and look up here. It's in oversold territory, right? Oversold territory. So it needs to fall back down. So I suspect it. It could go. You just have to see. You just have to see. Normally, Sunday is when it makes this move, but it doesn't like it's made a move as of yet. So, but as you can see right here, you have that 21 crossing that 50, the 200. I'm sorry, 21 crossing the 200 on the weekly, and if that crosses and it brings that 50 along with it, and you have that golden cross, then you can see a considerable amount of movement in Bitcoin, which I do expect to see 41K Bitcoin before I eventually see a 90% sell-off. That is just my opinion. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but that is just my opinion. Okay. And so now let's get into some news, right? So we have CZ sentence, right? When will Binance founder CZ Changpeng Zhao discover his fate? So when will he discover his fate? Let's go ahead and read this article. It says former CEO of Binance resigned and pleaded guilty to violating criminal U.S. anti-money laundering regulations in a move aimed at securing the company's ongoing operations. The details of the settlement involve Binance agreeing to pay $4.3 billion in penalties, marking one of the largest fines in corporate history. Additionally, as part of a 3-count indictment for money laundering, CEO CZ will personally pay $50 million. Like, come on now. Like, shit, $50 million? Not only do I have to step down from the company that I started, and you drag my name through the mud, and you do all of these things, but I have to pay 50 mil, a 50 mil ticket. That's wild. That is crazy. Remorseful CEO awaits sentencing in February, so he's not going to be sentenced until February, which, you know, the government does that to make you sit there and have to wait and you know, torture you. It's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much torture, is having to sit there and wait for the sentencing phase of your sentence and whatnot. So it says right here, during a court hearing, Magistrate Judge Brian, I can't even say that name, Shouda, set CZ sentencing for February 23rd. Although there's a possibility that this date could be subject to postponement, CZ conveyed remorse during the proceedings, expressing a desire to take responsibility and move forward. He stated, "I want to take responsibility and close this chapter in my life. I want to come back, otherwise I wouldn't be here today." According to guidelines, CZ could potentially face a sentence ranging up to 18 months for the charges he's pleading guilty to. This agreement marks the conclusion of extensive investigations into Binance, founded by CZ in 2017. The company has evolved into a pivotal hub within the global cryptocurrency market. Despite its initial, a global, a pivotal hub, that's an understatement. I mean, that's a big time understatement, because it is the hub. I mean, you have Coinbase and you have Binance. That's all that you have. So, I mean, like, you might as well say the premier, because everybody else is trying to copy them. You know, so. Back to the article. Despite its initial market share growth following the demise of FTX, one of its key offshore competitors last year, Binance has been under the shadow of a persistent criminal probe, which has lingered despite its ongoing success in the market. According to Matrix Report, analyst Marcus Thielen, the settlement represents a highly favorable outcome for CZ and Binance. With CZ relinquishing his role and the fine being lower than the initially speculated $10 billion, wow. They wanted to fine him $10 billion. Man, they crazy. They got to be crazy. Ain't no way in hell. $10 billion. Binance is expected to maintain its position as one of the 3 top exchanges for the next 2 to 3 years. Thielen anticipated that other exchanges would strengthen their compliance measures and join monitoring sharing agreements, which could in turn facilitate the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs in the United States. CZ's DOJ plea deal leaves room for doubt. The crypto legal expert David Lesperance told CNN that the Department of Justice's decision to agree to a plea deal instead of pursuing charges raises the question about whether they had substantial doubts regarding the strength of their case against CZ. So they went for a plea deal, right? So instead of them pursuing the charges, they agreed to the plea deal, which it was like supposedly money laundering, anti-money laundering laws, which he really didn't do anything wrong, which they said he tried to, he allowed, Hamas and the Iran National Guard or whatever to use his exchange to buy cryptocurrency. But come on, man, let's be real. How did they know it wasn't every regular Iranians that was buying it? They have no idea. They're just saying that, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, which we'll get to this later on, that this is just a play by BlackRock and the World Economic Forum to get CZ out of the way, because he's not playing ball the way they want him to play ball. Okay, he's not part of the game. He's not part of the club. All right. So and there's some evidence for this. So when you see his replacement, which we're going to get into this here later, a little later on, you'll understand why some of this stuff comes up. Okay. All right. So now we'll let's get back to the article. All right. Legal expert David Leversprance told CCN that the Department of Justice's decision to agree to a plea deal instead of pursuing charges raises questions about whether they had substantial doubts regarding the strength of their case against CZ. This observation implies that the plea deal might indicate a strategic move by the DOJ, possibly influenced by uncertainties or challenges they anticipated in prosecuting the case against CZ Zhao. And this is what he commented right here. He says another interesting point is that the court allowed CZ to return to the UAE. Whether CZ is given prison time or a probation like Arthur Hayes will be determined in 6 months. However, even if sentenced to prison, it will be in a minimum security federal penitentiary, not the maximum security that SBF will be spending time in the future. L'Esperance is obviously on the right path since the judge acknowledged that everyone he has released has faced some flight risk, even those facing more severe consequences. The judge also noted that the defendant had voluntarily appeared in court despite not being required to do so, indicating their intent to cooperate with the case rather than flee. Therefore, he granted the defendant permission to reside in the UAE, provided they maintain a fixed residence and notify their lawyers of any charges. So, man, that's slick right there. That's slick how the prosecutor, was trying to get him to, trying to say, he's a flight risk, asking for him to be, to be detained here or not be able to go back to the UAE. I'm glad that judge saw through that BS, that bull, that BS, because that was BS, man. It's funny how the system tries to play you and what they try to do, how they try to really stick it to you once they feel like they got you and stuff. The resolution, in fact, bears similarities to the previous case involving the exact BitMEX. In that case, the former CEO, Arthur Hayes, pleaded guilty to violating anti-money laundering laws, and was subsequently sentenced to 2 years of probation, thereby avoiding a potential prison term of 6 to 12 months. It will be interesting to see how this saga will evolve. Zhao will be residing in the UAE, which does not have a mutual extradition treaty with the U.S. However, there's a treaty signed last year between the two countries that enhances the sharing of law enforcement evidence. This legal context adds a layer of complexity to a potential extradition proceedings or attempts to bring Zhao to the U.S. for legal matters related to the case. So yeah, that's CZ, man. They're trying to come after him. We got some more news. We're gonna talk some more about CZ. Because you have Justin Sun right here that's just setting up scams after scam after scam, and everything that he's touching is getting hacked, quote unquote. Is quote unquote hacked. Everything that he's been touching. So like I said, U.S. prosecutors don't want Binance founder CZ Zhao to leave the country before his February sentencing date. While CZ's former best friend forever, Justin Sun, appears well aware that his neck could be next on the legal chopping block. On Wednesday, federal prosecutors filed a motion with the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington, arguing that CZ should not be permitted to return to his residence in Dubai before his sentencing in February 23rd. I told you, prosecutors, boy, they dirty dogs, man. Prosecutors aren't asking for CZ to stay in the U.S. prison cell until February, merely that he not be permitted to leave the country. They argue that CZ poses a major flight risk, given his significant assets, his strong ties to the UAE, and the government's inability to extradite him from the UAE. During his court appearance on Tuesday, CZ posted a $175 million appearance bond secured by $15 million in cash. Damn, damn, y'all, $15 million in cash. I just gotta take a second to soak that shit in. $15 million in cash. And additional funds property, but up to a few guarantors. But prosecutors are arguing that the bulk of CZ's vast fortune is located outside the U.S. and would be difficult to seize should CZ do a runner. Y'all really think this man is gonna run, man? This man sat here and said he ain't never been in trouble before. He was kind of nervous and scared about going into the courtroom. He wanted to show up. He wanted to get this stuff over with. And y'all think that this man really going to run? He just wants this stuff to get behind him. Y'all really doing the most, man. These prosecutors, they really full of shit. They're really doing the most. And I really kind of feel bad for CZ because I feel like he was set up, man. I feel like he was set up and it was a corporate takeover by the next guy who's about to run because he could be more of a puppet. And we'll get into that here in a second. All right, so Back to CZ, man. So CZ is expected to face a prison sentence of at least 18 months, and most observers believe CZ is getting off extremely lightly, given the extent of Binance's criminality. As such, it's hard to see why CZ would want to jeopardize a good thing. But prosecutors argue that with CZ having a partner and 3 kids in Dubai, he could have a change of heart as that sentencing date draws closer. Prosecutors also noted that America has no formal extradition treaty with the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE. So, like, come on, man. That he's not a flight risk. He's not going anywhere. He's not doing any of that stuff. Okay, he's not gonna go anywhere. Like, they gotta chill on that shit, man. They gotta chill on that shit. Like, for real. They need to chill. They need to take a chill pill. They need to take a chill pill. I can't believe that they actually, trying to do that to that man like that, which is crazy. And we're gonna get into some of this right here, because I do have a video that we're going to show.
The Justice Department has
I wanted to
secured
show you
felony
guys
guilty
this
pleas
guy right here.
from the world's
The assholes, what I call them.
largest
Everybody in the Biden
cryptocurrency
administration is
exchange,
an asshole.
Binance.
So
And from its
we're gonna go
founder-
ahead and get into it real quick. Get into the video. So,
to announce
but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the video and hear what he got to say.
that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, and from its founder and CEO, Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ. Separate from the criminal enforcement actions, the Justice Department is announcing today Secretary Yellen and Chairman Benham will also announce civil regulatory enforcement actions, and the Treasury Department and the CFTC are taking against Binance. While criminal and civil enforcement actions are subject to different legal standards, this collective effort represents the whole of government approach that we are taking to combat corporate crime. Binance has agreed to plead guilty to willfully violating the Bank Secrecy Act, knowingly failing to register as a money-transmitting business, and willfully violating the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. These laws ensure that our financial institutions are not available to designated terrorist organizations, drug traffickers, and sanctioned nation-states that threaten public safety and our national security. The Justice Department is requiring Binance to pay $4.3 billion in penalties and forfeitures. This is one of the largest penalties we have ever obtained from a corporate defendant in a criminal matter. The Justice Department is also imposing a monitorship as well as reporting requirements on Binance as part of today's resolution. Moving forward, Binance must file the suspicious activity reports that were required by law. The company is required to review past transactions and report suspicious activity to federal authorities. This will advance our criminal investigations into malicious cyber activity and terrorism fundraising, including the use of cryptocurrency exchanges to support groups such as Hamas. While this historic plea is an important measure of accountability, we know that corporations...
I just wanted to point out real quick. You see how they trying to really make an example of this.
To the individuals
like,
who run
they really
them.
trying to make it seem like this
That is
man,
why we have also filed
was
a
some type
felony
of
charge
aiding and
against
abetting
and
terrorists.
secured a
It's the
guilty
United
plea
States
from
Treasury. He didn't break any
Changpeng
type of
Zhao for
anything
willfully
laws. They're
violating
accusing him
the
of
Bank's
breaking
Secrecy Act.
anti-money laws. It's
As
crazy.
CEO of Binance, Zhao willfully violated federal law that requires financial institutions to guard against money laundering and terrorist financing. Zhao, who resides outside of the United States, entered his plea in person in the United States District Court for the Western District of Washington.
All right, now let's get back to some more news. We got here has BlackRock killed Binance, and here's what the crypto community speculates. So remember earlier when I told y'all that about the speculation about them, pretty much they had something to do with all this stuff. So that's the other thing. This kind of where it comes from. Um, the guy that's next, the guy that's taking his place. It's kind of iffy on that. When you look at the things like and what he's into and who he's associated with and stuff like that, then you kind of get the I don't know look. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what you want, and that's not really what you want to deal with that. So it's like, has BlackRock killed Binance? Here's what the crypto community speculates. In a significant development in the cryptocurrency sector, CZ, a well-known Binance Bitcoin supporter and co-founder of Binance, has resigned from his role as CEO. This decision follows a protracted dispute between the United States Department of Justice and Binance, leading the cryptocurrency exchange regarding daily trading volume and user base. The DOJ alleges that Binance and CZ willfully neglected regulations on anti-money laundering, noting that 17% of the platform's customers are based in the United States. So, like I said again, BS. This revelation has caused substantial turmoil in the cryptocurrency market, increasing volatility in Bitcoin and other digital assets. A surge in on-chain activity has marked the aftermath of his high-profile case due to the prevailing uncertainty among crypto traders. CZ's departure is expected to undermine confidence in Binance, particularly when digital assets of Web3 are gaining traction among institutions and retail investors. And this is one reason why everybody is saying they needed to get him out of the way, because he wasn't one of the ones part of the game. And Binance being the number one exchange, cryptocurrency exchange, if they could get control over that and rest of that control from him, then you could see a lot of things happening. You can see crypto. You're going to see crypto moving forward now that he stepped down, because they have control over Binance, and so they have an exchange that they have control over, one of the largest exchange. And so now you'll start to see all these laws going past, these ETFs and all these things going on, because they had to get rid of CZ. CZ was like the last of the Mohicans. He was the, he was Braveheart. He was the guy in the movie The Patriot. He was Mel Gibson in The Patriot, as far as crypto came, as far as crypto stood about. So CZ stepping down has certainly sparked mixed reactions, encapsulating the prevailing fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the crypto community. Despite this, the support for CZ on various platforms, including X, highlights the significant growth of the crypto industry. Looking forward, the new CEO of Binance, Richard Ting, has expressed a commitment to ensuring the company's longevity. And this right here is important right here, because he is WEF. He's World Economic Forum. Okay? The guy is World Economic Forum, and he is Klaus Schwab written all over him. He emphasized the importance of collaborating with regulators and other industry stakeholders. And this is Richard Tang right here. All right, this is Richard Tang. This is the guy that's going to replace CZ at Binance. He's a WEF player. He is a Klaus Schwab lackey. He emphasized the importance of collaborating with regulators and other industry stakeholders to foster the continued growth and adoption of Web3 technologies. Industry analysts speculate that this incident might be a strategic move to pave the way for a more regulated and mature cryptocurrency market in the United States. Some believe that CZ's decision to step down and accept legal responsibility could be a sacrifice to foster the growth of cryptocurrency in the market. BlackRock's influence, a new era in crypto. Now remember, BlackRock was filing all these ETFs, right? So you remember that them, Cathie Wood, Ark Investment, MicroStrategies, all these filing all these ETFs was getting denied by the SEC. Now you got to remember, the way the United States work, everything gets smoked and mirrors, right?
Zhao,
Everything's smoke and mirrors. So they'll tell you one thing, and it's actually not that thing at all. So you have to understand that they're setting you up, or right while you're watching the right hand, you're not seeing what the left hand is doing. So they're having BlackRock and all these, while they're trying to apply for the ETFs, they have their boy Gary Gensler denying them until the time is right. And the time is right by them taking over in one of the major exchanges. They tried to take over Coinbase, they tried to take over XRP, and weren't successful, but they were successful with taking over Binance and CZ. Okay, so that's what it's all about. It's about control, man. It's about having. They were locked out. Okay, they were locked out. The traditional financial market, the big players, they were locked out of the market, and they were trying to take over one of the already established exchanges. They had FTX with Sam Bankman-Fried, but then that fell apart and fell loose, and then that left them with Coinbase and with Binance. And so, with Coinbase, being an American company and it's already fighting in this case and them, fighting legally and pretty much being clean, they went after Binance and CZ. So that's what you see going on. All right. So back to the article, and we'll get back. So this guy Richard Ting right here is now the new the next man up at Binance. But like I said, he is a WEF lackey, and I'm going to show you that he's a WEF lackey real quick. I'm going to show you that because here he is on the World Economic Forum. Who is that? Richard Ting, right? It says Richard joined Abu Dhabi Global Marketing in March 2015. He is responsible for and oversees the development and administration of the financial services, regulatory, and supervisory framework for ADGM to promote a fair, open, and transparent financial market. With more than 2 decades of regulatory leadership and capital markets experience in the financial industry, Richard joined ADGM from the Singapore Exchange, where he was the regulatory chief officer. Right? So they don't want to put anything about him being with Lulu, which also has a connection with Ripple. So he has a connection with Ripple too as well, because he was on the board of Lulu when Ripple made the hooked up with them. All right, and the article is going to go into this too as well. All right. Amidst this turmoil, there is a sense of optimism that the cryptocurrency market's future. Some analysts predict that the resolution of these legal issues and the potential introduction of ETFs could trigger the most significant bull market in crypto history. It can, because when gold ETF came out, gold skyrocketed up. It has been going up ever since. This shift could begin a new era dominated by major financial institutions like BlackRock and Vanguard. The crypto community is witnessing a pivotal moment with the downfall of Binance CEO and the reshaping of the market's landscape. Exactly. And that's just, that they said a mouthful right here. With the downfall of Binance's CEO and the reshaping of the market's landscape. Because that's exactly what it's doing. Like it says, now you're going to see the institutions come in, you're going to see the money flow in, you're going to see the trillions of dollars flow in now. While the full implications of these developments are yet to unfold, they undoubtedly signal a significant shift in the cryptocurrency world, potentially ushering in an era of increased regulation, institutional involvement, and market maturity, right? So again, on the World Economic Forum website, right? So this guy is not playing around. He's on that. He's part of the club, man. He is a part of the club. He is a part of the club. Okay, so what do we have up here next? Next we have Hester Pierce, SEC Commissioner on spot Bitcoin ETFs. No reason to block. Well. Now it's no reason to block the ETFs, right? And this article came out November 22nd. It's like a day after CZ was, not sentenced, but it came out that CZ was found guilty. So, see how the cards fall? See how these people work? See how they do? They don't do anything just straight out and fair and square. It's always a hidden hand. It's this right here, okay? You got my hand right there and my other hand behind your back. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing what my left hand doing while you watching this hand. It's like watch this hand, watch this hand, watch this hand, while that left hand is doing something else. So that's exactly what's going on. And so let's get into this right here. Let's get into this ETF, all right? See what he says. SEC's Hester Pierce supports spot Bitcoin ETF and hopes for less litigation in establishing crypto regulation. Pierce confirmed that every application is being judged on its own specific set of facts and circumstances, but said she sees no reason for the SEC to deny Bitcoin ETF on the stock market. The commissioner also mentioned that the SEC might slow down on pursuing legal proceedings as the only way to establish crypto regulations, and she's actively advocating the agency to use other means of pursuing regulatory actions. BlackRock and Grayscale have also reportedly met with the SEC to discuss their Bitcoin ETF applications. The SEC still has 8 to 10 ETF applications to decide which will have the major impact on the crypto market if approved. right? So yeah, that's, I mean, that's exactly what they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're trying to do. So, Cathie Wood dumped 700,000 GBTC shares in 1 month. And she made some interesting comments too about Mr. Gensler that I'm going to play here too. Actually, here in a minute after we get to this article, she made some comments about Gary Gensler. It was kind of interesting, and I kind of agree with. So I'm going to play her comments here in a second, and we'll see. Let you guys hear exactly what she said after this article. Cathie Wood's investment firm, ARK Invest, sold 700,000 shares of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust over the past month, even as Bitcoin hit 17-month highs over excitement for a possible spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund. The ARK Next Generation Internet sold 36,106 GBTC shares on November 22nd, offloading a total of 697,768 GBTC shares since October 23rd. ARK offloaded roughly 1 million in GBTC as Grayscale's trust traded around $30 on November 22nd, closing at $30.50 per Google Finance data. United States markets closed at November 23rd for Thanksgiving, right? After selling nearly 700,000 GBTC shares over the past month, ARK still holds 131.8 million worth of GBTC, or more than 4.3 million GBTC shares. As of November 24th, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust accounts for 9.2% of ARKW's portfolio, ranked third after Coinbase and Roku, according to the ARK data. So yeah, it says, meanwhile, Bitcoin is up 125% year to date and neared 38,000 on November 16th, which is starting to head up that way again. And so, yeah, she's selling her Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares. Why would she be doing that? Why would she be doing that? That's something that that you watch. She's one of the main ones to talk about Bitcoin. But I want to get into her comments that she said. So let me go ahead and cue up the comments real quick and see exactly what she said. Show you guys and show you Hangout gang exactly what was said by Miss Cathie Wood. Get it ready. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and see what Miss Cathie Wood had to say.
He understands, Cathie. He's got enough. Not many people do. A lot of people don't have enough knowledge about how it works to make an informed decision about Bitcoin. He taught at MIT so he understands that it's not a Ponzi scheme or a Beanie Baby. Right. So there has to be something else.
Well, I don't know what it is. I have wondered. There's speculation that he's interested in the Treasury Secretary position at some point. What does the Treasury Secretary do?
Protecting fiat from the government?
I mean, very focused on. I don't know. I don't understand it myself because he definitely understands.
He understands. So there's something else.
Tell him.
Okay, but how much?
Right, and so I kind of agree with it. You know what I mean? I agree. I think he does have some political ambitions. I think that's why he's making everything so difficult and so hard, being such an ass about everything, being such a Grinch. So, but we'll see. They say that, January, it will be the time that it will be approved. We'll see that. So we shall see. We'll see what it has. See what next month has in store. We'll see what January has in store. It could be a surprise announcement. It could be something else. So we shall see. We shall see. Next up, we have some rumors about the XRP buyback. I wanted to bring that to you guys about XRP. We have a lot of XRP Army on this channel and in our groups, as well as me, a part of the XRP Army. And so I wanted to bring some XRP news as always, because we have to bring some XRP news, right? So this was the article I was going to bring to you guys, which shows about Mr. Ting being connected to the Ripple. And so how was he connected to Ripple? Through Ripple Lulu and the Lulu Financial Holdings. Right, so we have right here the article right here where it says the connection, written by Gamza, the CEO, connection to Ripple and XRP uncovered. So he was on the board of Lulu Financial. Lulu Financial did a deal with Ripple, and they're in partnership with them right now, and for cross-border blockchain money transfers. Okay, and they have the link from Singapore, which he was the monetary authority of Singapore, where he spent a decade before leading Binance Singapore. And Ripple secured a license to operate in Singapore in October of this year. So you see the connection, right, and everything going on there as well. He's WEF, so you see things falling into place, and exactly. So there is little rumors that are going around that the XRP buyback is going to happen in Stellar, right? Don't want to play that one. I want to play this one. We have this
Hearing,
right here from
or
Crypto
Ripple will
Discipline.
lose the lawsuit, even though we know they've actually technically already won it back in October of 2021. And so it's going to help to shake XRP Army awake from fantasizing about their $500,000 to $1 million buyback pricing. To me, XRP seems to be one of Jen McCaleb's brilliant baits to trap the cabal while slowly teaching people about the ISO 20022 standards and blockchains, while shielding Stellar from the masses, since we all know that the real ninja is where everything is moving to. Are you able to comment on this by chance? And so he replied, let's see. Okay. To address your question, while I cannot give away all the goods, I will share that XRP was never meant to be the final system. Jed knew exactly what would happen, where it would lead to. Does anyone actually think Jed doesn't know who is running the show before even entering the game? And guys, remember, if you did not know beforehand, Jed started both XRP and Stellar. So this guy's the mastermind behind everything, regardless of Brad Garlinghouse or David Schwartz. They're just puppets in Jed's game right now. And then he goes on to say, in many ways, you can think of XRP as a canary. What happens to XRP needs to happen in order for XLM to cement its place without opposition from those wishing to see it fail. XRP will not undergo a buyback in USD value. Let me repeat that. XRP will not undergo a buyback in USD value. Care to guess why it will not be USD? However, it will be automatically swapped for its appreciated value once the global system upgrade is complete and XRP has served its purpose, which again, guys, XRP's purpose is collateralization, meaning bringing it over into the Stellar ecosystem. So I'm now talking about a screenshot from back in October of 2021, because I want people to see exactly what canary means. If you have studied technology,
here's part 2, right here.
Box, it's the test ground, the playground. So it's like a big ecosystem for the beta test. That way you don't mess up the real system. So what Indus Payments developer is saying is XRP is a canary, is a beta test, even though it's been playing in the real world system, because they've been beta testing every single thing in order to bring it into Stellar. Again, he's confirming that XRP is a red herring, guys. So we've always had more than we've ever known.
Meltdown. I'm sorry, I have to say meltdown.
So yeah, that's the newest rumor that's circulating around. That's the newest rumor that's circulating around about the XRP buyback, right? But everybody knows XRP and Ripple go hand in hand. Everybody knows it.
Okay, so look, Western Union isn't going to go out of business anytime soon. They're going to adopt different technologies. Okay, but this is where the big money is. It's not in remittances. It's in these business-to-business payments across border, and that's why we have these kinds of companies like Ripple and Stellar. This is all about business-to-business, back-end, big volume transactions, which are currently very expensive. So if we look at the payment system, they're not sitting at the you're sending money back to your uncle, right? It is at the bank level. So the banks are making transactions with other banks. Now, nothing's changed here. You're still doing something like correspondent banking, except now, because the data needs to move around more quickly than the money moves around, right? We can settle these things more quickly. So the difference between a Bitcoin and a Ripple, in a nutshell, again, not too much time to elaborate, is that what Bitcoin uses is an open, permissionless, distributed ledger system, right, where anybody can jump in and do a transaction. Right, that's kind of the beauty of it. I can go buy Bitcoin, you can go buy Bitcoin. We don't need to ask anybody's permission, and there's no middleman that can accept or deny, approve or reject. It's distributed, the consensus around validating these transactions. What's different about systems like Ripple and most of the blockchain systems that will prevail is that they are permissioned, meaning that you have to be a member, and membership has its privileges. And so you have these different nodes, and the nodes basically know one another, okay? And then if I want to give money to my uncle back in France, let's say, then I have to go to one of these banks that are a member of the Ripple network, and then my uncle will go to one of these banks that's a member of the Ripple network, and then those banks will do their transacting through this distributed ledger.
So that's the use case of Ripple, as you can see, and Rohit Ku posted that right there, and so that's big. That's why everybody's I've been collecting Ripple for the XRP for the last couple of years. All right. Now, before we head out, I wanted to, I found another video. Everybody's so bullish on Bitcoin now. I wanted you guys to see this video as well. And I wanted you guys to watch this along with me. This video is interesting. Go ahead and get this queued up real quick. I want y'all to listen to this guy right here. Listen to what he has to say.
You've been operating your Bitcoin fund still, correct?
Yep. Still involved in Bitcoin every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never stops. But it's been an interesting year. In the last year we've gone from everything from FTX to now all of a sudden Argentina potentially, they've elected a pro-Bitcoin president. So the momentum and sentiment has changed dramatically in that market.
And then not to mention all the potential Bitcoin ETF filings that are still in the wings here.
Right.
So where do you see, you don't have a price target necessarily on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking in terms of where you are now?
So there's a couple things. We know in the past that Bitcoin has had these 2-year cycles that are generally centered around the halvening. And so we have another halvening coming up in April. And I'm not one of those people that thinks the halvening is the actual catalyst, but it's one of those sentiment things that all of a sudden now you have a reduction in supply. Couple that with the fact that we have the Federal Reserve that is likely done for some time being of raising rates. If not, we don't think they're going to go to 10%. Maybe they go to 5.5%, right? And then the second part of that is we now have these ETF filings. So for the first time ever, just like the gold ETF, you're going to have retail investors, not that they couldn't buy it before, but now registered investment advisors. Your Morgan Stanley wealth manager can allocate to this. And so that's what got the market excited about this new ETF.
All right, Beeks, you just named a bunch of catalysts for the Bitcoin to keep going higher. What do you think the core is? Is it just digital gold, versus like we often hear lots of folks come on and just say they should be allocated to that. We've had the dollar come in, and obviously Bitcoin has been trading pretty well with that. What's the core thesis right now? If you've missed out this run over the last year, and sentiment was really bad a year ago at this time, and now it's up, 200% or so. Why should people be allocating low single digits percentage of their investable capital to Bitcoin right now?
So I think the easiest way to think about it is digital gold. If you have a portfolio and you've got some of it that you want allocated to gold, and let's call that for inflation reasons, you're worried about the dollar or whatever your currency is going lower, you want to have some kind of hedge against that.
All right, as you can see, a lot of people are bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. The crypto markets are going good. And, millionaires are going to be made in this bull market. Millionaires are going to be created big time. The halving is coming up. You don't have that much longer. It'll be, I think it is April of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And so you have those things going on. That's going to cause the bull market. You're going to have a lot of adoption, a lot of institutional investors, lots of institutional adoption is going to happen, and a lot of money going to be made. It's going to be trillions and trillions flowing in. Make sure that you're not into shit coins. Make sure that you're into the good quality coins. If you don't know about any coins, we do a Coin Hunter series, and we're going to start those back up. We have the broadcast live every Sunday. We broadcast 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you missed the broadcast, you can see the replay on Spotify or iTunes, as well as I think the old ones will be on YouTube, but I don't think we're going to keep the new ones up on YouTube. I don't know what we're going to do. Haven't came to a decision yet. We might keep them up on YouTube. The replays up. But the live broadcast will be every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we talk crypto news and just hang out, chill out, man, and vibe. Look at some of the charts and go over some of the day's news. You know, if you like the content that I provide for you guys, if you like all the content that I provide and bring to you guys, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, but hit that bell notification and go ahead and tell a friend. It's free. We're trying to grow the channel, trying to promote the channel and grow the channel, trying to get the goal of 500 subscribers, and then eventually 1,000 subscribers and beyond. But as you can see, we're constantly growing, and we're trying to get more people into the live stream and get interactive. So until the next video, to the next live stream, next Sunday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Remember, set your calendar, set your reminder on YouTube, set your reminder on your phone, tell a friend, and check out the videos that we post throughout the week. All right, Crypto Crane signing out. Peace.